Good morning. Thank you for joining us with this session with Youngstown State. My name is Victoria Jeffries and I'm the facilitator. You will not see me again until it's over with. I'm responsible for starting and stopping and introductions. I do want you to know that even though you don't have camera and you don't have microphone, you can communicate with the panel members through the Q&A feature at the bottom, and they will be answering those questions, either typing them out or answering them by vocally. And then we do encourage you to go to oacac.org and sign up for more sessions. Any session that you have missed, they will be on demand, and you can also access the recordings of those through the same website. I hope you get a lot of good information, and thank you.
All right, everybody out there in Cyberland, thank you very much for joining us for the Youngstown State University information session. Let me get this set up here. I want to welcome you all. My name is Bill D'Amico. I'm a recruiter in the Office of Admissions here at Youngstown State, and we got an action-packed 45 minutes for you. Just to give you an idea of some of the topics we are going to cover, they're in front of you here. I also want to mention at the very bottom of the screen, you see Campus Tour. We strongly encourage anybody attending this webinar to go to our visit.ysu.edu page. On that page, you can take a virtual tour of campus. We also would love to have you physically come to campus. Youngstown State University is open for visits. There is a virtual calendar on that page where you can select a day and time and actually come and check out campus for yourself. Aside from these topics, at the very end of the presentation, one of our current students, Mario, is going to come on and he's going to talk about his experience as a YSU Penguin. But before jumping into all these different topics, I just want to show you a brief video about some of our academic achievements over the past year and why our students are Y and proud.
In Youngstown State University's 112-year history, there's never been quite anything like the 2019-2020 academic year. It started out as a relatively ordinary fall semester as we welcomed the class of 2023 to campus. We celebrated the golden anniversary of WYSU. We partnered with IBM to launch an IT workforce accelerator program that promises to put YSU a step ahead in the high-tech job market. Our world-renowned English Festival received the prestigious National Intellectual Freedom Award. The Bigley College of Education earned a national A grade for early reading instruction. And for the 10th year straight, our beautiful 145-acre campus, adorned with nearly 2,000 trees, was designated as a Tree Campus USA. Our students also continue to excel, including the 2020 National Student Intern of the Year, our national ranked moot court team, and of course, our national champion ethics bowl squad. By late January, we were announcing that the historic We See Tomorrow fundraising campaign had hit its $100 million goal, the most ever in YSU history. The campaign has received 27,000 gifts in all, including 32 donations of $1 million or more, and has set a new goal of $125 million. But then, everything changed. As the deadly coronavirus pandemic swept across the world, every sector of the nation, including higher education, came face to face with challenges most of us could never imagine. But the YSU community did what it always does. We came together in an unprecedented fashion. In less than 10 days, we moved all of our classes to remote delivery and developed an array of virtual student support services. We had virtual music performances, online training sessions, web-based rec offerings, and thousands of WebEx and Zoom meetings. And most importantly, our students stepped up, showing tremendous resilience and resolve to turn difficult circumstances into great success. That success included a new student Fulbright recipient, a Barry Goldwater Scholar, and dozens of students across many disciplines, from business to gerontology, journalism to graphic design, winning state and national contests and awards. In the words of student Taylor Valero, who won the Golden Addy Award in advertising, the sky is the limit. Despite the continued challenges, the sky certainly does remain our only limit. We showed our toughness in the toughest of times. Maybe our greatest accomplishment was helping more than 1,400 students graduate in our first ever virtual spring commencement. Now, we enter a new academic year. Many unknowns and many challenges remain. What we do know, however, is that our students will continue to accomplish great things. We know our faculty and staff will be there to support them, and we know that YSU will remain steadfast in delivering high-quality, faculty-engaged education in a safe and nurturing environment, no matter the hurdles we face. We are all in this together, and together, we will succeed for all.
All right. And I just want to kind of echo some of the things that the video talked about. Despite all the challenges that we've faced over the last academic year with the pandemic, I truly believe that there's never been a better time to be a YSU Penguin than right now. There's just this energy and vibe on campus. It's tremendous. From President Tressel, who leads the university student-centered. He's really big on student success, to all the new academic facilities that we're building, the different sports complexes that we've been added. We have a really big infrastructure project going on Fifth Avenue where we're going to have autonomous trams on campus. We've had tons of new living opportunities for students. New apartments have opened up. Even the city of Youngstown itself has come a long way. Downtown has been rejuvenated. There's lots of different concert venues and all sorts of different entertainment options. So I really think it's a great time, and we really do appreciate you taking the time to learn more about us. For those of you who may not know, I just want to give you a brief overview of Youngstown State University. We are classified as a mid-sized Division I urban research institution. And what I really like about Youngstown State University is we get to pull from the benefits of two different types of universities. We get to pull from the benefits of being a larger school with, as you can see here, all the different research money that we have and research opportunities for students. We have 115 different academic programs you can choose from. There's tons of different opportunities for you to get experiential learning, whether it's in a student organization or doing an internship, or maybe you want to study abroad, or there's so many things, Greek life, all things you'd expect to find at a larger school, Division I sports. But at the same time, as you can see, our average class size at YSU is 26. So it's going to feel like a high school size class. You're not going to be in those gigantic stadium seated classrooms where it's just a sea of people and nobody gets to know anyone. You're going to get an intimate class size where the faculty members are going to call you out by name. And similar to what you're used to in high school, you're going to meet some great connections. You're going to make great friends in your classes. You're going to study together. You're going to probably complain about the homework together. All the fun things that makes up your college experience you'll get. And you can really be a big fish in a small pond at YSU. You could spread yourself totally thin and get super involved, or you could pick and choose a couple of different things you want to get involved in. But the nice thing is you can really outfit and pick what you want your experience to be like. As a student here at YSU, there are three main areas that are going to really make up your Y experience. Obviously, first and foremost is academics. That's why you're looking at colleges and universities to get a degree. As you can see, Youngstown State University has, as I said before, 115 different majors. They fall within 5 different academic colleges. We have so many different fields to choose from, whether you want to go into education. We have pre-K to 12. We have tons of different fields in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Our engineering fields are excellent. We have a top-rated school of business, the Williamson College of Business Administration. It's AACSB accredited. Maybe you want to go into the health field. So we have a full physical therapy program at YSU. We have nursing. We have dental hygiene, pre-med, all those different areas. There's some other random ones, like we have a sports broadcasting program. We have forensic science, criminal justice. I can go on and on. There's so many different options. Or maybe you're totally undetermined. That's pretty normal as well. To be honest with you, I switched my major 4 times as a student here at YSU. I'm not bragging. I was all over the place. But maybe you're sitting out there and you're like, I don't know specifically what I want to do. Well, the nice thing is we have 115 different majors to choose from. So you can come into YSU, you can try out a bunch of different fields and see what's going to be the best fit for you. Aside from the specific majors that we offer, a really big thing here at YSU is research and experiential learning. So we really want you to take the theory that you're learning in the classroom and practice it out in the real world, whether it's doing an internship or a co-op, or maybe you're doing research with a faculty member. We have students, current students that are patented, that are published with faculty. So we really do want you to take all the great things that you're learning in the classroom and start to practice them to prepare you for a job or something working in the real world. We also have an honors college. So for students that have a 3.5 GPA and above and either a 26 ACT or 1240 SAT, you can apply to be in the honors college. The nice thing about the honors college is it's a really great cohort of students. There's a living learning community cohort there. You get more faculty involvement. There's special lectures. You'll end up leaving with honors designation on your diploma. But you also are applying for a variety of different scholarships. So we'll talk a little bit more about honors here in the presentation. But the point of the slide that I want to put forward is we know that academics is the foundation of why you're choosing schools. And again, if you get the opportunity, please come to campus so we can show you the different academic buildings and maybe even give you the opportunity to meet with somebody in one of your fields. Aside from academics, there's a lot of support services. So we don't just get you enrolled at YSU and boot you out the door and say, hey, good luck. Hopefully we see you at the finish line with your degree. There's a lot of support along the way. And I truly feel like the entry level for support is definitely academic advisement. So similar to what you're used to at the high school level with your school counselors, at the college level, you're going to have a professional academic advisor that is going to sit down with you, and they're going to basically map out your 4 years of your degree. So you're never going to wonder what classes you need to take. If you come in undetermined, you'll actually work with special undetermined advisors that are going to work with you to try out some different fields. So there's always support as far as what classes to schedule, and there's always a plan for you to get out in 4 years with your degree. Outside of academic advisement, we have the Career and Academic Advising Office. Excellent department. So they do work with students who are undetermined. So you can go over there. They have assessments based off your personality and interest that'll show you careers that are a good fit. I found that extremely useful. I mentioned I switched my major 4 times. I was finding like maybe I should get some help. Went to Career and Academic Advising and ended up taking their assessment, and it got me on the road to getting my degree. They also will do mock interviews with you. They do internship and job fairs. They do resume workshops, so they're going to help you prepare your resume to get you, again, in the door as far as your interview for your internship or co-op. So very useful, not something you want to start using on, your last steps to graduation, but something you want to use early and often here at YSU. Aside from those services, we have what's called the Center for Student Progress. And that's kind of the main hub for support services here at Youngstown State University. They offer free tutoring. So if there's ever an area that you need help in, me personally, I had a hard time with math. I had to use tutoring. It was great. It got me through some of my business math classes that I had to take. But aside from tutoring, they have counseling services, licensed counselors here at YSU. Should you ever need to go to somebody, maybe you're having a tough day or you're dealing with homesickness or relationship issues or whatever, know that we have those services available. We have disability services. So for students who are on IEP, so maybe you need additional test taking time or help with notes or any of the services you're accustomed to at the high school level, we're going to offer that, and in a lot of cases, much more here at the college level. So know that we have that. And then we also have the Reading and Study Skills Department, the Writing Center, and the Math Assistance Center. Reading and Study Skills is really big. I know I can't see you right now, but I usually ask students, how many of you actually had to study in high school? It's usually maybe about half the room admits that they study. The other half seem to have not had to study. I envy those people. You may need to adjust your study habits when you get to the college level. So we actually have a full department that will work with you on developing study skills. Same with writing. College writing and high school writing are a bit different. Formatting's different. We have that. And as I mentioned, the Math Assistance Center, if you ever need help in those fields, you can certainly go over there and get some support. And then last but not least, I want to mention student life. College is supposed to be fun. You're here for an education, absolutely, but enjoy yourself. It's the best years of your life. When you're old like me and you look back to college, I really did enjoy my classes, don't get me wrong, but it was the student life opportunities I was involved in that really have the lasting memories. And there really is something for everybody to get involved in. A couple things I want to mention. I mentioned in the introduction, YSU is a Division I school. So if you're interested in Division I sports, ysusports.com. Check it out. You can check out all the different sports we have. The coaching information's on there. You can check out the different leagues and the roster and stuff like that. If you're like me and maybe you're not at the Division I level, but you still enjoy playing sports, I was involved in a ton of club and intramural sports at YSU. We also have a great campus recreation facility. The Andrews Recreation Facility is excellent. There's all kinds of weightlifting and cardio equipment. There's an 8 mile track. There's basketball courts, racquetball courts. They do spinning, yoga, Zumba classes. It's all tied in with your tuition. It's really great. Maybe you're just a spectator. You enjoy spectating sports. Nothing wrong with that. Actually, all of our students get free season tickets to all of our athletic events. Traditionally, football season is a really good time. Men and women's basketball. Actually, any of the sports that we offer all have spectating opportunities. So I recommend getting out there and checking it out. Aside from that, there's so many other student activities you can get involved in. There's hundreds of different organizations on. Let's have a couple listed here: student government, honor societies. Greek life is really fun. We have a squirrel watching club at YSU. We have a Harry Potter alliance. We have video game clubs. We have religious clubs. I mean, anything that you can think of. There's some, we used to have a fencing club, and there's just so much that you can do. If you're a veteran, we actually have the Veteran Resource Center. If you're dependent of a veteran, there could be some resources available there. Even student employment. I always tell students, if you're planning to work while you're in school, work for the university. I worked for parking while I was here at YSU. They essentially paid me to sit in the booth, do my homework, and pop a gate to let people in. It was one of the greatest jobs ever. Honestly, they had to kick me out of that job when I graduated. But aside from obviously working on campus, I got to meet new people just from being here. So that kind of brings me to this whole your why experience. College in general is going to be 100% what you make of it. It really is. There are students at YSU, they go to class, they go back to the res hall, they play video games all day. You know, those students are going to graduate, but in my opinion, they're missing out on the broader part of being a college student. And it's stepping outside your comfort zone, getting involved, meeting new people. Take advantage of those opportunities. As I said before, I mean, these are going to be the best years of your life. College is an absolute blast, just the freedom you get and the chance to start over and meet new people. Don't let that slip by. Definitely take advantage. All right. I realize that's a bit of a soapbox moment. I'll step off. So those are the three areas, again, that are going to make up your why experience. I want to touch on residence life at Youngstown State. Youngstown State's a little bit unique in the fact that we don't require students to live in res halls at all. Some schools have a first-year requirement. Some schools have a four-year requirement. Currently, we don't require it at all. To be honest with you, our YSU halls fill up pretty much organically on their own. Students really want to live on campus. Quick plug, I highly recommend living on campus. I think you get a lot out of that. The new people you're going to meet, the fact that you'll be right here, you get a meal plan, all that tied in. But I do want to talk about the fact that there are a couple different residence life options. When we get to the tuition cost, the halls that are built into the room and board are the YSU halls. So you can see the list that we have there. Outside of the halls that are owned by the university, there are so many other options. Like Beaconer Hall, for example, is an all-girls residence hall. It's right on campus, not owned by the university. So if you're a woman and you'd like to live there, you can do that. Same goes for all those other apartment complexes, including the Lofts. The Lofts is brand new, open for this fall. Actually, most of these have been open within the past 3 to 5 years, so they're all excellent. If you want to live in an apartment, essentially the way it works is you'll pay tuition to YSU and then rent essentially to those independently owned properties. And all of this information can be found on our housing page. You can look at the YSU halls. You can look at the different other options that we have to offer. As I said before, I don't think there's a better place to live at least your first year than a YSU hall. You're going to meet all other incoming students. The RAs in the halls really do a great job of helping you meet people. So I strongly encourage not going directly into an apartment, but ultimately it is up to you. We also allow students to commute as well. All right. So I want to talk about the cost of coming to YSU and ways to curb those costs. If you've ever heard President Tressel talk, he's really big. And as a university, we are really big at students leaving with as little to no debt as possible. College in general is an investment. I know that, we all know that, but you really want to try to leave with as little to no debt as possible. So when you get out, the money you earn can go towards you and maybe starting a life and a family and not paying loans back for 15, 20 years. So be really smart with that. So the first thing we're going to talk about is what is the actual cost of attendance at YSU? So this is an OACAC presentation. You all are Ohio students, so you are going to be in the red in-state tuition category, which is shown here. So look at the red category. You see two different types of cost. The total commuter cost at $95.8848 includes strictly tuition. So it's a full year, which is 2 semesters at YSU as a full-time student. And a full-time student is someone who takes between 12 and 18 credit hours. And most classes are about 3 credit hours a piece. So that's between 4 and 6 classes that you'll get for that tuition rate, which may not sound like a lot, but college classes are a lot more involved than high school classes. So anyway, you have the total commuter cost there. Books are not included in that cost. And I should mention real quick that we do allow all students to have cars on campus from freshman to senior year. Parking is also would be an additional cost as well. So that's the total commuter cost. Now, if you want to live in a YSU hall, you notice that there's a $9,700 annual room and board fee there and a $35 housing application. So $19,323.48 would be your full year of tuition, as I said before. But now you're going to get a room in a YSU hall. You're going to get a meal plan, cable, internet, laundry, all that stuff is tied in. Again, the only additional cost there would be books as well. So this gives you a good baseline of what the costs are. And one of the nice things is Youngstown State has what's called the Penguin Tuition Promise. And essentially what that means is the tuition rate that you come in at, you're actually going to be locked in for 4 years. So let's say you're a sophomore and all of a sudden tuition goes up, your rates are going to remain the same. So you can bank on what your costs are going to be, which I think is tremendous. Okay, so these are the general tuition costs. Now I want to talk about the fun part. I want to talk about all the hard work that you're putting in the classroom and how you can curb the costs. So Youngstown State has a variety of different scholarships. The first one I want to talk about is what's called the Freshman Excellence Scholarships. These are admission-based scholarships. So what I mean by that is there's no separate application outside of applying to YSU that you'll need to submit for these scholarships. As you can see, we'll just start with the first opportunity. Our entry-level scholarship is the first opportunity for students that have a 3.0 GPA and above, and we do look at weighted GPAs on this, and either a 19 ACT or 990 SAT. If you have the GPA and either the ACT or SAT score, you're automatically going to get $1,000 off per year. As you can see, as the criteria increases, so does the award amount. Clear until if you are ranked or tied for number 1 in your class, valedictorian, you're automatically going to get a $5,000 a year award. A couple things I want to mention here. First and foremost, these scholarships are all renewable for 3 additional years as long as you maintain full-time status and a B average, a 3.0, which is pretty great. The reason it's a 3.0, we want you to still take full-time classes and not be worried about overwhelming yourself and losing your scholarship. The second thing you're going to notice is we do require ACT and SAT test scores for scholarship. A little bit later, I'm going to talk about the admission requirements. YSU is test optional, clear until spring of 2022. But for scholarships, we are still requiring those. So we'll talk a little bit more about that coming up. Now, again, these are admission-based scholarships, no other application needed for those. However, I do want to mention that there's a bunch of other scholarships out there that I would highly recommend you apply for that can stack on top of those. One is the University Scholars Award. So that's tied in with the Honors College. I mentioned before, if you want to join the Honors College, 3.5 GPA, 26 ACT, 1240 SAT. If you have that criteria, you can apply for the Honors College, in which case you'll be applying for a full ride scholarship. To be honest with you, YSU does not award a lot of full ride scholarships, but if you meet the Honors College criteria and you're admitted to honors, you actually will be put in the pool for a $1,000 to $3,000 academic award and a $1,000 to $3,000 housing award. So even if you don't get the full ride, there may be other scholarships out there that will stack on those Freshman Excellence scholarships. We also have a variety of other ones in there you can check out. There's 700 plus different academics and departmental grants and things like that on our financial aid webpage. So if you're interested in those, you'd fill out what's called the foundation application. It's one application, and that application will automatically apply you for any grants, departmental scholarships, all those other things that are out there. If you check out our financial aid page, there's a large list of scholarships. Put yourself in contention for those. And one thing I want to make a point of real quick on the slide is you want to try and get as much money out of the schools that you are applying to as possible. You really do. In all honesty, we are competing for you. We all are. Now, I'm very confident in YSU. Outside of our great academics and beautiful campus, we actually are one of the most affordable schools, really not even in Ohio, but nationally. So I'm very confident in our costs. But we have some really great scholarships as well. So I think if you do that, YSU will still be about the top of your list. But really, I mean, try to get as much money out of all the schools. We're not naive. We know you're looking at multiple schools. Do your due diligence. Work with people like me in the admissions office. Work with financial aid. Just make sure that you're not leaving any money on the table. Again, really big on students leaving with as little to no debt as possible. Okay. So The last thing I want to kind of walk you through here is what the admissions timeline looks like for a student. So I'm going to walk you through start to finish on becoming a YSU Penguin. The first thing you're going to want to do is fill out an application. YSU's application is 100% online. It is an electronic application. You would go to apply.ysu.edu. We are not on Common App. Honestly, our institutional app will take you less time than a Common App and a supplement would. It's very, very quick and convenient, I promise you. So you'll fill out the application. There's a $45 application fee. If you're on a free reduced lunch plan or you're eligible for a fee waiver, simply have your school counselor send that over to us. We're more than happy to accept those. And then to complete your application, we're going to need your high school transcripts. So obviously completion of your junior year, we will review those. You notice the little sub-circle there if you are taking any AP classes or if you're in an IB curriculum, or even if you've taken the CLEP test, more than happy to give you credit for those. AP, for example, if you have scores of 3 and above, you will get at least some college credit for that. Again, check our webpage out. It has the full listing for AP and IB scores. Great way to get credit. Send those over and we'll give you the proper credit for them. And then ACT or SAT test scores. So that is not a requirement. As I mentioned, just due to the pandemic and the current situation of everything going on, YSU is technically test optional clear until spring of 2022. So if you're a senior right now and you're sitting in this presentation, you do not need to submit test scores. But I will tell you, as you saw from the scholarship requirements and the honors requirements, and even for the admissions review process, test scores cannot hurt you. So I want to repeat that. If you take the test, sometimes I talk to students and they're like, my test score is low, I don't want to submit it. We're test optional. Please submit your test scores if you've taken it. And I strongly encourage students to take the ACT or SAT. As a matter of fact, I recommend taking one of those tests at least twice. You statistically will score higher the second time you take it. But just know if you haven't taken the test and you want to apply to YSU, we can still review you. And then the last thing I want to mention is the college transcript. So if any of you are doing any dual enrollment work, College Credit Plus in Ohio or anything else, and you have college credit, you must send the official college transcripts into us to get credit. We cannot take college credits off of high school transcripts. So that will complete your application for review. You can see the deadlines are in front of you. Technically, the priority deadline for fall of 2021 is February 15th. Most students don't even wait that long. I would say December 1. A lot of students get everything in. The reason we have February 15th listed is because if you get everything into us by February 15th, you'll be eligible for majority of the scholarships, and actually you'll be one of the first people to be able to sign up for orientation. So definitely get that in. You'll also notice the summer deadlines of April 15th. So if you have everything in by the February 15th deadline and you decide, you know what, I actually want to take some classes prior to starting in the fall, you can do that. You'll already met that requirement and that deadline as well. Requirements. What does Youngstown State University look for in admissions? Well, just to give you an idea, the class that just came in for fall 2020, the average GPA was around a 3.5. The average ACT was a 21 point something, almost a 22. Our average SAT is around a 1080. Those are our averages. You already saw what the scholarships were. But technically, we can admit people as low as a C average, a 2.0, a 17 on the ACT, or 920 on the SAT, as long as your core GPA is a 2.0 or above. So that is if you have the test scores. We also have as I said, we're test optional. So if you don't take the ACT or SAT, you're going to go through a special review. And in that review, it's a holistic review. Pretty much what we're doing is we're really going to focus in on how well are you doing in your core areas. So English, math, science, social studies, and foreign language. We're going to see how you're doing there. So I always tell students, get your application in. If you took the ACT, just to reiterate, or SAT, please send those in. If it doesn't help you with the general review, we'll remove it and we'll review you based on test optional. So those are some of the different requirements. Now, after admitted, we are going to go through a series of ways to place you, because every student at YSU, regardless of major, is required to take at least 2 college compositions and some form of math. And placement is initially based off the ACT or SAT scores. Again, that's another reason why we recommend taking that. If you don't take it, then you will have the opportunity to actually take placement tests. We can work with you. And another example is if your ACT or SAT subscores are below where you're going to be placed into essentially a remedial or college prep class, we will give you the opportunity to take placement as well. What also factors into placement is credits. So if you have college credit, we'll bring those in and you can use those for placement. Same with AP, IB, and CLEP. So my point of the slide is we are going to try to place you as high as possible. And if you're not being placed appropriately, you can challenge the placement based on placement testing. After that, you will go through an orientation. Orientation is really a ton of fun. Hopefully this year we will be able to bring students to campus for orientation. Last year it was virtual just due to the events. But essentially what happens is you come to campus, you'll be meeting with a smaller cohort of incoming students. You meet with your academic advisors. You schedule your classes, you get your YSU ID. So the really big part of orientation is that is when you schedule classes. So I always tell students, get into the earliest orientation you can. I don't know about you, but I really didn't like going to high school at like 7:30. So when I was a first year student at YSU, I made sure that I went to an early orientation and I didn't start my classes till 10 a.m. Some of you maybe only want to take classes 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. In college, you can do all that cool stuff. You can pick and choose when your classes are. You can pick and choose your professors. So if you get into an earlier orientation, you'll get to fully customize your schedule. Okay. Those are the 3 steps to becoming a YSU Penguin. And that is pretty much everything I can pack into that half hour as possible. Now, what I would encourage at this time is if you have any questions that you haven't already submitted using that Q&A box, please do that. And we're going to answer those at the very end. But at this time, I want to turn the mic over to Mario, who's one of our current students here at Youngstown State, and he's just going to talk a little bit about his experience. So, Mario, take it away.
Hello, all. I'm Mario Campbell. I am a third-year criminal justice major with a focus in forensic science. My major has opened up so many opportunities for me. In the spring, our criminal justice club has gotten the chance to go to Quantico, Virginia. And for you that don't know, Quantico, Virginia is where all the FBI Academy is placed. So we got to experience the FBI Academy. We actually got a tour of the whole facility, inside and out. And we actually got a personal tour of the White House. We got to see all the rooms. It was pretty cool. And through that, we've made so many connections. Personally, I've made so many connections as well that will help me advance my career after college. So without that, I wouldn't have gotten the chance to go and see Quantico without the clubs and the organizations that I've joined. So my advice to you guys is to join as many clubs and organizations as you can your first year, because that opens up so many doors for you to get in and get your feet wet to experience those opportunities that will help you after college. So as well as it opens up so many friendships along the way as well. I made so many friends along the way with Greek life, first year student services, just being a tour guide here at YSU. I meet so many people and I have so many memories that will last a lifetime. And my favorite YSU memory, we have these things called Penguin Nights. Our Penguin Nights are a huge event that we have here on campus. It's usually once every month. It runs from 10 p.m. to 12 a.m. And it's a free event for all students. You just have to show your YSU ID. And it's free food, free activities, free games, and you get to win big prizes. Like last year, my brothers won a 50-inch smart TV, and it is now in their room, and we play all the video games on there. It's really cool. We won AirPods. We won a whole bunch of just gift baskets and gift cards. So it is real cool. YSU is a huge community that feels small when you come here, but it's actually a huge community that we like to open up to everyone. So definitely YSU is a good college for everyone. And that's why I chose YSU, because it is my second home. My first home was back in Pittsburgh, PA. And when I came here to get a tour, one of the other tour guides, Malik, he gave me my tour and he made me feel at home. So this is why I'm here. I love YSU, and this is why I became a tour guide as well, to make other students feel like they're at home here at YSU. So that is why I'm at YSU.
All right. So thank you. If anybody has any questions for Mario, send those in. We do have some questions. I'm going to read out loud real quick. One of them is, you said that we'd have to submit our official college transcripts if we take in college credit classes. How do we do that if we've already submitted one? You can continue to submit new academic information. So if you've already applied to YSU, and yeah, some of you may be currently enrolled in college classes now, you don't need to submit those at time of application. You just need to submit those before you enroll to YSU, so we can get those credits in the system so that you're not repeating classes. So have no problem. You can send those in clear until really you start. So after you graduate, you can send in those final transcripts. Let's see what else we have in here. Let's see. What are some volunteer opportunities on campus? I'll talk about that, but real quick, they're asking about forensic science with bio. So is forensic science with biology track considered forensic biology? Mario, do you know the answer to that one?
So the forensic science major, we have 2 or 3 different tracks. We have chemistry, anthropology, and biology. So forensic biology, that would be more of, I want to say bio-pre-med, because that's more biology than forensics. But you would do a bio-pre-med with a minor in forensics. So that would be more of the forensic biology. But if you want to go more of the forensic biology with a like concentration in biology, that would be acceptable too. So,
okay.
If that answers your question.
She was also asking about volunteer opportunities. I mean, every student organization has a philanthropy component to it. So Greek Life has it and everything else. So there's tons of volunteer opportunities, whether you're, like I said, student government, the Honors College does a bunch of stuff with philanthropy. So tons. If you want to volunteer, there's no shortage. Let's see. Let's go through these. I sent an application and got accepted. Does that mean I'm enrolled? No, you won't actually enroll until so if you've been accepted to YSU, the way that we're going to know you want to attend is by signing up for an orientation date. And at orientation, you will schedule your class. So at that point, technically you are enrolled. You have a 3.5 GPA, but you don't have ACT score requirement for one of the scholarships. Okay, so this student's asking, I have a 3.5 plus, but haven't taken the ACT. So the scholarships that I mentioned do require the GPA and the test score. If you have over a 3.5, I strongly recommend taking the ACT or SAT just to see where you land. I would also recommend working with our financial aid department to see if there's any other scholarships out there or grants that maybe don't require both ACT or SAT and GPA. What's your accounting program major like? The Williamson College of Business is excellent. So whether you're going to accounting, finance, marketing, management, any of those fields, you go into a pre-business where you get a well-rounded experience. So you're going to get, again, a couple different economics classes, as I said, business, math, and a feel for all the different majors that we offer in business. But accounting specifically, I mean, it's tremendous. Our students have a ton of internship opportunities locally that they can get involved in. We talked more about before about volunteering. I mean, our accounting majors actually do community events where they do taxes for local residents of low income status. So that's pretty cool. And we also, if you want to sit for your CPA, you'll have the ability to do that as well. So, I mean, the accounting program is excellent. Williamson College of Business in general, as I said, come visit YSU. This presentation doesn't do the university justice. I mean, our facilities are excellent. Williamson is certainly no exception. You'll love it there. Can I talk about a partnership with LCCC? Youngstown State does have a variety of partnerships with some of the different community colleges. LCCC is one of them. So we have some fields where you can actually start at Lorain County Community College or Lakeland. There's a bunch of different ones. And then you would do 2 years there and you'd finish your degree at YSU. So you technically transfer. It acts almost as a 2+2. So if you're interested in doing that, You would work with Lakeland first to get into the right pre-program and then work with us and finish our degree here. And a lot of those programs are done remotely. So you'd actually take the YSU classes on campus at Lakeland, Lorraine, some of the different partnerships that we have. If you have more questions about the partnerships with the different community colleges, call our office. Kim Avery, she's our Associate Director of Transfer here. She can work specifically with you. When do I sign up for orientation? When do we know when orientation is? Yeah, you won't know about orientation until after the new year. Usually, as I said, priority February 15th is usually when orientations start to open. So you will hear about those opportunities usually early, maybe in January of 2021. Let's see, I've taken the ACT and got a 21, but the scholarship I want required a 26. Well, as I said before, take it again. Students usually score higher their second time. I mean, think about it. The first time you take the ACT, you may not really know what's going on or what to expect. Take it a second time. We will continue to update your scores. So if you had a 21 your first time and the next time you get a 27, we're going to give you the 27 is what we're going to go off of. So same with GPA. If maybe you're just outside the GPA requirement of a scholarship, send in midterm grades, send in your final transcript, anything. We've had students try and take the ACT or SAT even after they graduate to bump into scholarship categories. It's totally fine. We're going to try and give you as much money as we can. So I'd recommend doing that again. I think that's all the questions. Anybody else have any questions? Get them in. We got about 4 minutes. Not seeing anything else. I know somebody earlier asked about nursing requirements. Those are on the webpage. Check those out. I think that was answered. I don't see, my school does not do valedictorian. So how, okay. So this person's saying that their school does not do the ranking, how the higher end scholarships would work. Well, as I said, yeah, the one, what we've seen in the past is if your school does not rank, talk with your school counselors. I know in certain cases we've had superintendents send over actual score reports that will show the rank. I believe there is a way to get a ranking. That's another thing where I would work with financial aid just to see what they say on that one. But I know that there have been ways before where schools don't officially rank on the transcript, but we're still able to get kind of a ranking through other means. What do we do if we have other questions? Oh, good question. Yeah, if you have any additional questions, excuse me, please contact our office. We are more than happy to help you. You can reach us at 330-941-2000. You can reach us through a chat feature on our webpage, ysu.edu/admissions. You can email us, enroll@ysu.edu. And again, you can physically come to campus. That's, again, something I really recommend. Our campus is excellent. There's nothing better than seeing it. You know, we're being very safe with COVID, so there's a lot of precautions. So please come out and check us out. Is the food good? The food is excellent. We just got Chipotle on campus. Mario, maybe he wants to comment on that. I think the food is great. There's everything you'd want on campus. Chipotle, hotheads. We have a Chick-fil-A right in the middle of campus. We have Subway. We have Jimmy John's. We have McDonald's. We have Taco Bell. We have a huge food court. We have obviously have a dining center for students living on and off campus. You know, you're not going to go hungry. Let's put it that way. Got time for maybe one more. When do you recommend taking the placement test? You'll be taking the placement test after kind of around the time for orientation. You're going to want to make sure that your placement is in prior to your orientation so that when you meet with that faculty advisor, they know how to schedule you. You'll get information on that. What is the number again? The number is 330-941-2000. Excuse me. I think that's everything that we're covering. We're going to get cut off here. Contact us. Let us know. We're more than happy to help you. Okay, are we good?
All right, so thank you so much for sharing that information with our students. And I do encourage you, if you do want to watch this again, it is recorded on our website, which is oacac.org. There are additional panels that are still going on. My slide is not working to show you what that is, but the website is oac.org. You can go and sign up for more sessions. We do have more that are continuing through the end of the week. This has been going on for a couple of weeks. There's going to be a second round that's going to pop up in the next month or so. So please use the ones that are recorded. Contact the Office of Admission at Youngstown if you have any questions. There's a 4-question survey once I end this webinar that we would really appreciate, because we want to make sure the next round of panels and information sessions help you as much as possible in these times that we cannot connect with you. And I hope that you all have a really wonderful day. Thank you, Youngstown.
Take care. Thank you all. Appreciate it.